All right, guys, so I'm super excited for our call this evening. I want to make a couple quick announcements before I introduce our lovely and gracious guest speaker who will be speaking with us this evening. We're almost to Summit, guys. For those of us going to Summit, we have, it's next week practically. So super, super, super excited. For those of us not going, definitely kind of watch us as we're there, get excited, get ready. I would say for those going and for those not going, next weekend while we're at Summit, tickets for the following year will be going on sale. So definitely keep that in mind because that is the most inexpensive time to buy the tickets. So just keep that in mind for those of us that'll be there and also for those of us not going so that you can save some money and get ready to purchase them next weekend. Today, if you guys have not had a chance to try Country Heat, that today on Beachbody On Demand is the sneak peek for Country Heat. So definitely, if you're able to hop on, look at it, even if you don't get a chance to even do it yet, but at least look at it so you have an idea of what it's like. Luke and I did it. It was super, super fun. We posted a little video on our page. Also, today starts registration for Teen Cup. Guys, so make sure that you guys are reaching out to people to form your teams of 5. So definitely reach out to people, see who you would like to be on this Teen Cup with. I posted some information in the team page, so definitely look out for that. Also, guys, we're more than halfway through the month, so still plenty of time to hit Success Club. We have our best programs on sale, 21-Day Fix, 21-Day Fix Extreme. We have 22-Minute Hardcore, all on sale for $140 with Shakeology. So definitely make sure that you're reaching out to people, make sure that you're following up with people, just trying to, really try your best to reach out and help as many people as you can. There's still plenty of time left. Okay, so without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce our guest speaker. So I don't know if she remembers, but I actually heard, I did not introduce myself to her, but I remember hearing her speak in, I want to say Las Vegas. I heard her speak in Las Vegas at a Super Saturday there, and I said, wow, her story was really powerful, especially because I know a lot of us are healthcare professionals on this team. But overall, I was just super impressed and just super impressed with her presence and her story. And so I was really excited when she graciously agreed to come on and speak with us. So Marissa is a 6-star diamond. She is a 2-time elite coach. She has been 48 consecutive months in Success Club. That's amazing. 48 consecutive months. That is absolutely incredible. So guys, success leaves clues. And so if you want to be where she is, realizing kind of Success Club is definitely the meter and the objection that we aim every single month to hit when it comes to having success in this business. She is a Success Club 10 legend. She has sponsored 10 diamonds as a coach. That is incredible. That speaks to her leadership. That speaks to her ability to inspire and motivate others. So that is absolutely incredible. She is a dog and a bird mom. I absolutely love her bird. When I see her on social media, it's so cute. So she's a dog and bird mom. She is also a semi-retired nurse anesthetist. So definitely someone to, especially my healthcare professionals on here, someone to take notes from, just to get inspired by in terms of how she's living her life now, how she has created a life that she truly is designing. And then she is also part of the Palm Beach Market Council here in Florida. So just speaking to her leadership. So she is going to be sharing with us some tips on free challenge groups, how to convert them, and just sharing her story. So Marissa, I'm going to let it go over to you.
Thank you for that awesome, I don't know, what do you call it? Welcome, or whatever that was. I don't know what you call that when someone edifies you. Edification, I guess. It made me feel like, wow, I'm a really good leader. I mean, we all have doubts, right? I mean, raise your hand if you've ever doubted your abilities, and you hear from someone else who's a really good leader say that you're a really good leader, and then, it makes you feel like, okay, I must be a really good leader. So it looks like we have, if you guys can mute your lines, it looks like we have some feedback going on there. Husky. I don't know if you say that right. Okay, so thank you so much for having me on the call. I appreciate it. I love to guest speak on other calls, and hopefully you'll find a lot of value out of this. I don't have a slideshow or anything. I'm very much, this is totally like by the seat of the pants. Talk, but I usually do really well with those, so don't worry about it. Like Stephanie said, I used to work full-time as a nurse anesthetist, and a little bit about my background is I was introduced to Beachbody through the Insanity program. Well, I knew about Beachbody from P90X, but I was never like really into it or a part of it. I had heard about P90X, but so a friend of mine, when I was in my master's program for anesthesia, asked me to come over and do Insanity with her. And I was like, okay. So I went and did the workout with her, and I was like, oh my God, dying in the first 3 minutes. And I love challenges. So of course, the Ruby personality that I am, I was like, hey, I'm gonna get this program because it's the hardest program I've ever done. I was pretty in shape. I've never been, ridiculously overweight. I actually did gain about 20 pounds when I was in my master's. So I was a little bit thicker, but not, just not as lean as I am now. Never ridiculously overweight. And so I ordered my first program, Insanity, off eBay because she didn't really explain to me like the coaching. I mean, she told me she was a coach, but she was real shy and timid about it and didn't really explain to me what it was all about. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go order. I found it for like $60 compared to like $120. So I'm going to buy it. So I went to, bought my first program there. This was before challenge groups, before challenge packs. And of course, I was in my master's, so it sat on my shelf for 6 months. I wasn't in a challenge group. My coach wasn't really supporting me. And so when I finally finished my master's, I said, all right, I need to get on this. Like, I want to get back to working out. I was working out maybe like twice a week when I was doing my master's. So it wasn't totally out of my life. Working out has been for me a long-term thing. I've always, not always, but probably since I was like 21 or 22, been into like the healthy eating and different diets and yo-yoing a lot. Actually, I had like a carb thing. I did like the low carb lifestyle, and I'd lose all the weight and I'd gain all the weight. And so this time, with Insanity, I actually lost the weight. It landed me on the Insanity infomercial, which was pretty fun. And people started noticing at work. I'm wearing scrubs. I work as a nurse anesthetist, and asking me what was I doing. And so I was like, oh my God, this is a program. It's called Insanity. It's so cool, blah, blah, blah. You can, and they were going online and ordering it. I wasn't even referring them to my coach because she didn't explain to me what the opportunity was all about. And if that doesn't speak to, being scared because she was like timid, and didn't want to get the money. And, so she ended up not getting anything, from that. And then I referred a few people to beachbody.com. They ordered the program, and I finally she had asked me to become a coach for about 8 months. And I was doing Insanity, and then I did Insanity Asylum, and I was like, no, I don't want to sell products. I just graduated from my master's degree. Like, why would I want to do that? And then she invited me to work out live with Sean T. He was in Fort Lauderdale doing a live workout, and of course I was in love with him. I mean, not like, romantically, but I was like, oh my God, I'm going. So I went, and I saw the coaching opportunity. I saw that it was a group of people that were wanting to help people, and they did, they had people stand up if you lost over 50, 60, 100 pounds, and then talking about the physical success and the financial success. And there was probably about 100 coaches there. And I understood that it was more than just like this coach, that it was, if that doesn't speak to live events, then I don't know what does. Because if I hadn't attended that event, I probably still would not be a coach to this day. And so I decided, all right, I'm going to sign up to be a coach because I already had enough people asking me. And the reason I didn't want to be a coach too was because I was like, $39.95, why do I have to pay to be a coach? Like, why do I have to pay money to like, so I was like super resistant to it. So I enrolled, and then I sold a couple of programs or whatever. But it was before challenge groups. I wasn't drinking Shakeology because I'm like, I'm skinny. I don't need that. I had tried it. I thought it was disgusting. I thought it was way overpriced. $100 for this bag of powder was like, are you kidding me? So for the first 6 months as a coach, I failed. Because I couldn't speak from an authentic space about Shakeology. And I was like, yeah, you need to drink this shake. But I didn't know that it gave you energy, and it made you feel fuller longer, and it reduced your cravings for junk. And it, all those good things that Shakeology does, I didn't feel any of those feelings. So I was just selling. I wasn't building relationships with people and leading by example and actually, you know, just building this business really. So, and I really wasn't consistent in the first 6 months. So I finally, after 6 months, I was like ready to just quit coaching because I was like, I mean, not really put any effort into it because I was like, it wasn't really something I was that interested in. But I did decide to go to a Super Saturday where Carl Deichler was going to be there just because I was like, I want to see this guy talk. And it was in Tampa, and Lindsay Matway was number 2 that year. So I went there and I was like, why not me? Like, I heard all these stories and I was like, this is freaking amazing. And so I kind of, you know, made a commitment that day that I was going to pursue it. I was going to pursue it more. But my coach got pregnant and she stopped pursuing her business. So I had no system. I had no team to plug into. I had no upline support. I had no leadership skills. So I still didn't know what success in this business looked like. So basically, I didn't really figure anything out until probably that first summit. So that was like a year in already. I had been a coach and I was kind of selling things here and there, but it wasn't, you know, I wasn't having a lot of success. And at that summit, I really understood what this business was all about, you know, and I met my up line. So 2 levels up from me, Kevin and Milan Jensen, who are founding coaches. And they just started to develop that relationship with me. And I made a lot of mistakes after that. I built relationships, broken relationships, you know, had a system, changed the system, had challenge groups work, have a not group. I've had more failures than I've had successes, but somehow in that, you know, success is not a straight line, you know, somehow in that, you know, those bumps, I figured it out and I was able to help my team enough to the point where, you know, they were starting to become diamonds and leadership was being built. And I replaced my 6-figure income with my Beachbody coaching business. Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success. It's based on each coach's diligence and skill. But and that was about 3 to 3.5 years in. And even at the point of about 2, so I actually 2 years into the business, I decided that I wanted to be a full-time coach. That's when I really made that decision. 2 years in, I was like, that's it, I'm going for it. And I don't care how long it takes. I don't care what it takes. I don't care the sacrifices I have to make. I'm going to do it. And I ended up going part-time at my anesthesia job as a CRNA because, you know, financially Beachbody, I was selling some things, so it was doing all right. You know, I wasn't doing great, but it was enough to be able to pay my bills with a little bit of anesthesia on the side. And then I really busted my ass and basically, you know, I replaced my salary. Now, the reason I'm semi-retired is as a nurse anesthetist, if I don't work for 2 years, I will not be able to practice anesthesia anymore. I will give up the right to be a CRNA, and I'm not ready to do that yet. So I work once a week at an ambulatory surgery center, outpatient. It's not because I need the money, but it's because I want to keep my license active. I want to keep my skills up, and it's not terrible. So, you know, being full-time, it was terrible. It's a high-stress environment, you know, lots of personalities. You're working with anesthesiologists. You're working with surgeons. You know, you're being at the hospital for 12 hours a day. You're in a negative environment. I mean, you're taking all of that on, all of that stress, you know, and at the end of the day, I think you're in fight or flight all day. I think your SNS is stimulated. All your, you know, cortisol is being released in your body. And then you come home and you're like, I just made it through my day. And then I have to go do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow. And then Friday's finally here. And then it's like, oh my God, I sleep all weekend, so I can do it again on Monday. That was my life, and I freaking didn't like it, okay? So I made a decision that I was going to be a coach because I wanted the financial freedom and the freedom to be able to do what I wanted when I wanted. I not have to request time off and all those things. And that's the life that I am living now. I'm grateful for that because I have, you know, my dog and my bird, and they're my family, and I get to be with them every day. So now I'm just going to start this by saying, I don't know if you could even follow my journey and say like, well, this is what she did to be successful. Because to be honest with you, it was so like all over the place, like throwing spaghetti against a wall and like waiting for it to stick. I mean, there was no systematic, duplicable anything in there, okay? But what I'm going to talk to you about a little bit, what I feel that I've learned as of late and what I feel that's working for my team and myself right now. Because what worked for me, you know, a year ago or 2 is not what I'm doing right now currently in my business. So I'm going to tell you what's working for me now. And what I think I've learned over my years of doing things wrong and doing things right is it can never be about the numbers. And that is the absolute biggest thing that you have to remember. Success Club is an indicator of how many lives you've changed. And for me, Success Club, Success Club, Success Club was hounded in. So you have to do this in order to be successful. And you have to be a 5-star Diamond Elite in order to be successful. And I'm going to tell you what, 5-star Diamond Elite actually was my least what I would consider amount of success, because it was so much muscle arming and pushing my team to do what I needed them to do for me, that it ended up leaving me in a spot where I was successful, but my team wasn't. So when I got to that point, I had to take a look at what was going on in my business, and I had to kind of revamp it. And I had to realize that it's not about the finances. I mean, yes, we want to make a living doing something that we love, but it's about the people's lives that we're changing. And the minute we lose sight of that, that's the minute our business becomes key. Stephanie Rowland.
Yeah, I know. I just realized that.
All right. I'm like, who is it? All right, you just got called out. I lost my train of thought. But, okay, so I had to look at my system and figure out, okay, I have to make it about people, and I have to make my, my team is not about my team helping me and what can they do for me, but what can I do for them? Not in a codependent way, but with healthy boundaries. So I kind of started working on the system and working on, being better at building relationships with people versus Success Club points. And, we kind of have the system that was working for some people. And what I feel I learned in that crazy all over the place world is free groups are a lot more duplicable, in my opinion, for a newer coach than a paid group. Because I think a newer coach is going to have a really hard time asking somebody that when they don't even yet believe in their coaching ability, maybe they don't even believe in the products yet really, because they haven't had their own transformation, or maybe they've had a little transformation, but definitely not believing in the business or in themselves. If they don't have that belief, then it's going to be really hard for them to go out and say, can you spend $140 or $200 on these products, even though I don't really believe that this business works or that I can coach you or any of this. But they could go out and say, if they have a format and something duplicable, they could go out and say, hey, I'm starting this free online health and fitness accountability group. If you're interested in joining, come on in. So we're revamping our system to be more geared towards free groups. Now, the reason that I didn't go towards free groups is because that's not what I did. In my business, I posted my insanity results and it was like, boom, like I was hitting Success Club without even really having to try, just using this, the 5-step process. But that's what worked for me. And I realized that I was teaching this, okay, you just share your transformation story. And I'm like, why are people quitting? That's what I did. I'm teaching them what I did. So what I did was I kind of made a commitment to, and another thing was that wasn't really working for me anymore, because I had kind of ran out of people, and it was like I'm having to talk to it was working, but not as well. So I'm like, okay, I'm really going to get these free groups down. So I watched one of my coaches lead a free group, and I'll share my screen and I'll show you a couple of things that I did. For first of all, I joined the Jesse Regan social media training, and I don't know if anybody is in that. Is anybody in that? Anybody pay for that? It's a training where I think it's like $300, and he really he goes into great detail about free groups, and he has a lot of great resources within that training. I think the $300 is so worth it just for actually what he teaches you about coaching. It's not just social media training, but it's actually like coaching. Like he really teaches you a lot in there. So I actually had a Facebook business page that I had started before this training, and I was doing ads, but they weren't targeted. And so I was getting I had like 25,000 likes on my page, but I was enrolling 0 from those likes. 0, 0, 0. It was big goose egg, whatever. But I was still posting on it, and I was doing, so I started applying what he was teaching me to that page. And what happened with me is, none of those people were targeted, so nobody was even people were, engaging a little bit, but it wasn't ending up in enrollments because I don't think that I was being myself enough. So what this training did for me was I decided to completely forget about that page and start from 0, start from scratch, and not worry about those likes, but really focus on just being me and providing a lot of value. So that's what I did. And I literally started this like page, and I barely posted about challenge groups or coaching, like with a call to action. So I barely post hooks, right hooks, but I posted a lot of jabs. I put my life in there. So after many failed ads, and this did all right before I created an ad for it, but I literally just threw this post up there like, all right, I'm just going to create this free group, and all right, I'm going to see how it goes. And it did okay. Like I only have I think 1,200 likes on my page at this point. I don't even know. Where is it? I don't have many at all. I had 25,000. Now it's down to nothing. Oh, it's not working. I shouldn't have done that because it's just spinning. And I actually had the image. Forget it. I think I have 1,200 or 1,300 likes on my page. So I threw up this post just it was just something that, it wasn't even I took time creating it or whatever. It was just, okay, I'm just going to throw this post up and see what happens. And it did okay on my page. And I thought, I'll just create an ad for this. Now, so some of you might not have the money to create ads. That's okay. You can create a post like this, and you can go to your warm market and you can invite them to free groups. So don't feel like you can't duplicate what I did just because you can't create an ad around it. You might not get as massive amount of numbers as I got, but you are still able to do this. So one thing I'm going to say is don't just take this and copy it and then create a different image and use it as your own. Make it your own words. You want to use it for inspiration, that's cool. But it's not because I don't care if anybody copies me, but it's just there's a different tone to the way everybody speaks. And if you just take what I wrote and you copy and paste it, it's not going to do as well. Trust me, it just won't. It just won't. It never does. And I've done it before, and it just never does. So I created this, and then I was like, all right, well, it did all right on my page, so I decided to create an ad around it. Now, you can see the amount of likes I have, the amount of shares, and the amount of comments, and it was a simple call to action, comment below with I'm in. The reason I did that is because one reason is I can message them from my page now. Since they commented on it, I can message them. Another reason is, I guess that was really the only reason that I wanted that. And what I do once they have said that they're in is I simply go to my notes. I have a saved little note here, and I copy and paste. Hey, how are you? Thanks so much for your interest in my free group. What makes you interested? What are your goals, challenges? So you have a few minutes to fill out this form, and the form is basic questions like, what are your goals? You're more than welcome to go to it, marissafmyers.com/life transformation group, where I can send it to you. And it's getting to know them, okay? The more I know about you, the better I can support you. Well, one thing is some people aren't even going to fill out that form. So then that easily is going to tell me who I should be talking to. Because someone, if they're going to take the time to fill out the form, then shoot, they really want to be connected to me, and they're really more interested in my free group than they are. Now, today I posted another post. I used the same image, and I just said, last call, if you want in the group, here's what you're going to get, and here's a link to the group. Just request to join, and I will accept you. And I probably got another 20 or 30 people that requested to join. Now, what I do within my free group is I created a format. I created a posting schedule. I'm not saying that you guys have to do this, okay? I like fitness. It's always been a part of my life, so I created little workout videos for them for 7 days, okay? A workout video every day for 7 days, using iMovie, using my iPhone, and whatever. And I do a fit test at the beginning. I do think that doing something measurable at the beginning to the end is good, whether it's, a weight measurement, images, or clean eating, something, a scale from 0 to 10, whatever it is, do something measurable so they can see the changes that have taken place. For me, I did a little fit test where I did an ab fit test where I think I had them do plank and crunches. I don't remember, but some type of fit test on, before we actually started the challenge. Because I'll share it with you. It's no big deal. I'll share everything. It's not a big deal to me. but I am going to say that you probably are going to want to make it your own again. So I simply just have a pre-week. On day one, pre-week, I ask them what's their why. And then I do a live video just about every day within that group, because that live video helps my audience connect with me through the group and see me more and get more familiar with me, and starts developing that relationship with them without me having to personally message them a million times. Now, the people that comment and engage in the group on my posts, those are going to be the people that I'm going to be personally messaging them. And I love using the voice text option with Facebook. Another thing that I love is that form gets me their email address, and I can enter them into Streak, and they will forever be on my email list. So those are a couple of things that I do. Now, then the live video for the first day is what's holding you back. These are just like ideas. It doesn't have to be just random things that came to my mind, and it worked really well for my last free group. Then pre-week day 2, live video is like, well, simply let's introduce ourselves. You might recognize this from the challenge group. It's having everybody introduce themselves. Pre-week day 3 is a little bit about nutrition and how that's the most important thing. And then I make another live video talking about nutrition. Okay, so I stick with the theme. Day 4 now is talking about working out. Here's my little, my little challenge, my little, what do you call it? My fit test, my ab fit test. And then post 2 is a live video. Where are you in your fitness journey? And I ask them more about fitness. Day 5 is talking about belief and personal development. And then it's talking about mindset in the live video. These are just, you don't have to do it this way. This is just what works for me and my brain. And then Saturday is, talking about sharing some whys that people have shared with me before, and finding a success partner within the group, a friend that they can check in on every day. And then day 7 is having them take their pictures and measurements and, email them to me if they want to. And then they can enroll for a free membership if they want to. If they don't want to, I'm not going to be a stickler, because I really truly think I've been very rigid in the past. And what I've learned is being rigid often leads to not having a good experience for me or for them. And then for the actual challenge, I do day 1 is simply, I have a little contest, and they get points for participation. And it's simply just comment when you're done with your workout, and post a sweaty selfie in the group in the comments below, or you can take it of your face if you want. How is your nutrition? And then I post a little Darren Daily. It's like a couple minutes. So basically what I'm getting them to do is 3 vital behaviors, like being proof the product works, and personal development, and, well, not really proof the product works, but, And then here's my my little workout, and I have a link to my YouTube video. I created them on YouTube. And you'll see that the other days after that are exactly the same. Now in there, I'll throw live videos in there throughout the challenge week to just check in more, and it's something, whatever comes to my mind. Like, are you sore? Okay, here's how you combat soreness. It's not that, the live videos are kind of unformatted and just off the cuff. Now, there's a million, free groups I think are amazing. And up until this point, I had never had a successful free group. I had run a million freaking free groups because, you know why? I never really put any energy into them, because I'm like, it's a free group. Like, whatever. I don't really care about these people. They didn't pay me anything. Why am I going to give them anything? But I treated this group, this last one that I had in June, I treated them like they paid me. And I had conversations with them like they paid me. And I told them to treat the group like they paid for it. And what it did was, obviously not everybody enrolled. I ended up having 320 people in that free group, because people saw that ad, people from my page, people invited their friends. And I ended up enrolling, I think 3 or 4 challenge packs last month at the end of the month. And then I hit Success Club 7 at the beginning of this month already from that free group, because people waited until, this month. So I'm a believer in free groups. I had to watch one of my coaches, my downline, my personally sponsored coaches, run her free group to really get, zeroed in on what works. And I saw her do that, and the live videos were where it was at. The live videos, I think, were really what showed people who she was and really got them, engaged with her. So now that's what I do. At the end of the group, I ask them, do they want to continue on their own? Do they want to hear about my next group? Or do they want to be, do they really want to run one of these groups themselves and become a coach? Now, I haven't had people be like, I want to be a coach. But I feel like if I keep doing it this way and I get better at it, I feel like I am going to one day have that. So I'm a believer in free groups now. And now I have like a document that I got from the Jesse Reagan training. I'm happy to share it with you, that literally tells you step by step how to run a free group. So it's like a duplicable process for any new coach to do. So you can literally hand them that document and say, here you go, here's how you run a free group, and they can take that document and they can make it their own. Now, it's very important that people understand that when you run that free group, you can't treat it like a free group. You have to treat it like you have to give a lot of energy, love, and attention, and really treat those people like they're paying customers, because developing that relationship with them through that free group is so vital in order for them to potentially become paid customers. How did I do that? People that engage in the group, I personally messaged them. I did personal voice texts on Facebook Messenger. I made sure that I was posting about my upcoming challenge groups on my wall. I do a lot of live videos on my wall too, because, it's a great way to get, to give a lot of value to people and let them really see you. Live video, for some reason, really connects with people because they know what you're saying is not scripted. It's not, maybe you thought of it before, but it's not like, okay, you didn't do 50 takes. You're just there, you're off the cuff, you're just being you, and they can see the real person that you are. So the people that engage in the group, and I tell them that from the beginning, are the people that are going to get the most attention from me. And, there's still people that haven't enrolled with a challenge pack that I talk to a lot, and I'm not really worried about that. I'm not really worried about, oh my God, they were in my free group and they didn't pay for anything, because it's whatever impact I had on their life, that's what it was meant to be for this amount of time. Maybe one day they're going to be a paid customer and I'm going to have a deeper relationship with them and I'm going to have more impacts, but for now, they're having I've had a positive impact on them in some way for whatever, and that is whatever it was meant to be at that moment. And when you let go of the attachment to being like, oh my God, they didn't buy a challenge pack for me, or they were my 2 Success Club points because it's the end of the month and I need that person to get a challenge pack. Your business just flows naturally, easily, and it's happy and it's fun and you love it. It becomes less frustrating and, it becomes fun. So you have to keep going back to why you started doing this. You did it, you chose because you wanted to help people. It's not an easy business. It's not, it's not that it's rocket science and not that it takes a million years of school to figure it out, but it's difficult because you get a lot of no's and it brings up every insecurity and every single thing in you to be healed. And the question is, are you going to allow yourself to heal it? Are you going to work through it, through the personal development enough to the point where you're going to heal that, or are you going to give up? Because I truly believe that if you give up on the business, that you're giving up on yourself, really. You're giving up on your desire to be a better person. And so for me, I'm not saying that I've always been like this. I've actually been the opposite. If I need those 2 points and, muscle arming people and, and just getting them to order because it's me, the Marissa show. And it didn't feel good. It didn't make me happy. It wasn't fulfilling for me. So what happened was I was replacing my nurse anesthetist job that I was stressed out and I didn't like with another job that I was stressed out and I didn't like, until I figured out my real why. And that is for a deeper level of healing for every human being on this planet. So for me, I focus on in what way can I serve them, and I let go of the rest. And when you show up with that spirit and that mentality, it just becomes a lot easier and more natural, and you have fun while you're doing it. And maybe I'm not a top 10 coach, or I don't hit Success Club 50 or 125 every month, but I truly, personally don't know that I could keep up with, hitting Success Club 50. I've done like 40 points something in a month. And to me, I was like, I don't have the time for those people. And I want to have a relationship with my people. And I'd rather stick at Success Club 10 and have 5 really quality people join my team than be at 50 and have a bunch of riffraff and people that I know nothing about them. I have no relationship with them whatsoever. Now, I'm not knocking any coaches that choose to build that way, because it's going to build you really fast that way. It's going to build you, because you don't have to have a system. You don't really even need to train them. You sign them up and you let them figure it out, and and that's it. But that's not for me. That's not how I choose to build my business. Now, there was a time when I chose to build my business that way, and I didn't find it fulfilling. So you have to find what works for you in this business, and and be okay with it, and be okay with not being this certain rank or whatever it is, because that's not going to make you happy. It's not. What's going to make you happy is doing something that you love to do and feeling good about what you're doing, and truly helping people and serving others in whatever way that they need to be served in that moment. So I don't know if that was, do you want me to go any further? It's 9:40. I don't know how long you go for your calls, or if you guys have any questions, or.
Let's see. Yeah, no, we usually go, we can definitely go further if you have any other comments, or let me see if anyone has any questions. You guys can go ahead and ask some questions if you guys have any questions. I know, it's interesting, Marissa. I actually, I agree with you 100%. I think, you're what now, 4 years in, almost 4 years, right?
It's actually 5.
5 years. 5 years. Yeah.
I rolled. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm now in my 3rd year. And so definitely, and I'm always making sure that I try to remember that, just for the same reasons that you probably came into this, wanting to genuinely help people. And I think it's really important for coaches and new coaches to understand, you really have to love this. You really have to love what you're doing in this business to truly come out of it and have the success that you would like. And I think when you build on the free groups and you realize that it's about adding value first, because sometimes it's going to take longer to build. And you have to have that faith and have that and find joy in just giving to people, and in just really helping them change their life in a positive way. And if you stick with that, and you keep doing that, then people will, as you stay consistent, they will come, in the future, potentially. Let's see. I had a question. I was wondering, after you kind of go through the free group, do you have a follow-up process for them, or have you figured that out yet? I know you said you're just going back into free groups, but what's your kind of organization and follow-up process?
My follow-up is probably not, I'm not the best follow-up person. It really hasn't been great, other than I do have all their email addresses and I have them in Streak. So then when I do my next group, I can send them, an announcement with my next group. But I don't, as far as checking in with them, afterwards and whatever, it's kind of that's definitely where I lack, as far as definitely in follow-up. I'm sure I'd be a lot better if I had better follow-up, but I do have an assistant. So I had her create an Excel spreadsheet of all the people that responded, I'm in to the ad. And I figure I can kind of work off that list now and see okay, where are people at? And I had her just create 2 columns, name and Facebook. Are we friends or not? Friend status, because some of them are just from my business page. So we're not even friends yet. And then, like I said, I just focus on the people that are really engaging in the group. So the follow-up system is just me, after the fact, being what did you think? And then if they're oh, I'm interested in hearing more about Shakeology, then I'm okay, and then start them in the 5-step process. It's kind of I focus on the people that give me, give time and attention to it, because, those are the people that I'm going to focus on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Tony's asking, do you operate using an avatar in mind? You used to decide if you want to invite someone to be on your team. Do you have an ideal Team Aloha member in mind?
Yeah. Yes and no. I have an ideal team member, but my team is very diverse. And I think that I am, like, I have, you know, friends that are younger and older and different generations. So they're all parts of me. And, you know, definitely the biggest thing for me with my avatar is like somebody that really is ready and willing to make a change, like somebody that really wants to make a change. Preferably, like, my avatar would be, I'm not married, I don't have kids. I love to just have people that I'm married and don't have kids, because you can relate more easily. But for whatever reason, I tend to attract women that are married with kids. And that, you know, I'm not going to like, okay, no, I'm not going to enroll you as a teammate because, you know, you have kids and you're married, because that would be like wiping out like the majority of people my age, you know? So I kind of do, but I kind of veer off of it because, you know, I'm just like, the connection is for me the most important thing. So I probably could do better at that, you know, being more specific with my avatar.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you on the call who don't know what an avatar is, if you haven't done the training, avatar is kind of your ideal client. It's really kind of thinking about who would you love working with, both as a client and as a customer. And that's always going to continue to evolve, especially as you evolve. At least that's the experience and kind of the experience that I've seen, is that who my avatar was when I first started has changed a little bit to who I am today, especially as I realize more and more the qualities that are needed to have a successful business, and the mindset, it's really kind of changed over time. Another question I know I had since is with, you know, are you planning on running a free group once a month right now, kind of once a month?
So yeah, I started my next one today. So that was, and I do it like in the middle of the month, because I start my challenge groups at the first week of the month is pre-week for my challenge groups. And then I do 3 weeks of it. I do a 4-week challenge. First week is pre-week and then a 3-week challenge. So I figure people that aren't enrolled, like say that anybody that says no to a challenge pack is going to be automatically invited to the free group, because I've already had a conversation with them. I've already made that connection with them. So I'm not going to just say like, okay, you're not going to pay, I'm not going to talk to you. But say, okay, well, I have this free group coming up, you know, price is the problem, and then get them in the free group and see how if they really do engage and interact. So I do that like mid-month, like it's the 18th, because everybody, you know, the people that said no to challenge packs, now they can go in the free group. And what I did with my ad is I turned it off because, you know, I did the free group and it was running and it was going. And then when I was getting ready to do my next free group, I turned that ad back on, and I'm getting like comments for 10 cents per person. So, you know, for 50 comments, for every 50 comments, it's 10 cents. What's $5, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. $5? Yeah. Is that right? Or
I think so.
I'm really bad at math. I mean, I should be.
No, that's okay. No, and that's, I mean, and I think so. So the free groups, yeah. So then you shut it off, and then when it's time to come back on, you just kind of put it right back on, and it's going to continue to push it out. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Jessica's asking, do you normally run 14-day free groups, or do they vary on the topic of the group, such as clean eating, ab challenge, etc.?
Okay, so I used to do like, you know, all different free groups, but they were never successful. So this last group in June is the first time that I actually was like, oh my God, I rolled like 4 or 5 challenge packs from this free group. That's freaking awesome, you know? So I'm going to stick this month with the same format until I improve it. I think I'm just going to keep trying to improve it. And then maybe I'll switch to something else, you know, so people that have been in the group, you know, maybe if they've been in the group twice and maybe I'll do a different type of free group the next time around, so it'll draw other people in. But for now, I'm just going to do this one. And then I don't know what I'm going to do next month. We'll see. I've thought about doing like moving into like a personal development only one versus doing like, you know.
What do you do with the free groups after they are done? Do you ever comment in them again?
Okay, so what I did this time is I made it so that in my free group, I also made it so that nobody can like post in the group except for me, because I didn't want to have a million posts in the group. So what I did is I had like 320 in the group, and I just left it open. And then I changed the date of it to my new date, and then I left the image the same, and all I did was just delete all the posts, and now I'm just starting like pre-week day 1. As you can see, I have 60 new members. So those are 60 new people that probably came from the ad. And then, you know, I just did the pre-week day 1 post.
So you're keeping like you're going to continue, you're continuing it from last month.
I'm just keeping it within the same group, because like those 320 people, I feel like there's still connections. Like I don't want to go and do like, come over to this other group now, you know, because I'm going to already lose people, you know, not lose people, but then some people aren't going to see the post or whatever. So I'm just going to keep it in the same, and I'll let you know how it goes. One of my coaches did the Jessie Regan training, and one of my personally sponsored coaches, and one of her videos, it was a paper plate video, her doing workouts on paper plates. I'm sure some of you have seen it. And it went viral, and it was shared, I don't know, like 50,000 times, and it was viewed by like 3 million people. And her page went from like 1,200 likes to 30,000 in a matter of like a week. I mean, and she was getting like hundreds of messages a day. So she is the one that showed me, she's the one that showed me this, because instead of messaging all of those people, like she had 500 people in a free group. She literally just posted it on her page and was like, everybody join me. Like people were requesting to, like 50 people at a time were requesting to join this group. So I was like, she was like, well, what should I do for like my next one? I was like, why don't you just leave that open? Because you have like 500 people in there. I was like, you don't, you know, just stay connected with them and just delete it. So what she did was she did like a paper, the first group, she did like her old free group format that she was already using. And then the second round, she did like a paper plate. She did a paper plate, all paper plate videos, like workouts on paper plates, because that's how they found her. And at first she's like, oh, I don't really like keeping the group open. She's like, because I've been posting pre-week and like there's not really getting a lot of engagement. And then I was like, well, okay, let me know how it turns out. And then like a week later, she's like, yes, free groups, you know, like she has like 800 people now in this free group, and she has like 90 to 100 people commenting on every one of her posts, like engaging with her. She hit Success Club 18 the last 2 months just from, you know, her, I mean, cold market, straight up people reaching out to her. So, I mean, while I'm saying that that's not the norm that you're going to get a video that's going to go viral, but the training that he teaches you how to like really, you know, add value through your page and really hone in on, I guess, a little bit more about my avatar is like kind of what I did with my avatar is I thought of like, what are like the top 5 to 6 things that are like important to me that I'm going to post about a lot. So I don't try to like post about 100 different things, you know, and I add value in the ways that are like my thing. So like for me, like nutrition, you know, is something that I'm into. I mean, I'm not totally perfect with nutrition, so I talk about that. Fitness, I love working out. I've been into fitness for a long time, so I make these little videos with iMovie. You guys are feel free to check out my page. And then personal development is huge for me. So, and then like lifestyle is like my animals, you know, nature, the beach. And then like I'm super green. Like I have a vermicompost in my house, which is like a worm farm in a bucket inside my house. That's like they're composting all of my like organic, you know, food, like recycling, and all of those things are like huge for me, which I don't really post a lot about that. And then live videos, I just like whatever it is that's, you know, with me, a tip at the moment or some way of letting them see my lifestyle. And of course I sprinkle in, you know, transformation photos, my transformation, my client's transformation, coaching, jabs, you know, what it's done for me and things like that on my page. So I stick to just like a theme. And these are like, this is me. And so that is, you know, who I'm trying to attract, people that are attracted to me because of those things that I'm posting about. And that training really helps me kind of get clear on that.
Awesome. Well, and I think, and so I guess that would answer my mom's question, which is like, do you do more than one free group? Or do people do more than one free group? Because you're going to trial keeping them in the group. So that's going to kind of answer that question specifically.
I keep them in, and, you know, I did Jessie Regan training. Someone posted something where they said like, they call it like when they have multiple people that want to do like multiple free groups, they say, you know, you're welcome to join, but this time I'm doing it a little bit differently. It's called a Friends Don't Let Friends Eat Junk Challenge. And you're welcome to be in it, but you just have to invite like one friend to join you. And if they don't invite, then they don't get added to the group. If they invite, they get added to the group. Personally, I don't have time to like see if they invited someone or, you know, I don't have the freaking time. Like I have too many people I'm already talking to. Like I don't have an issue with conversations or, you know, recruiting or anything like that. Like if anything, I have too much, you know what I'm saying? So for me to have to like regulate all of that, like I don't really care. You want to do a free group multiple times? Like, I tried it and I was just like, why am I wasting my time on this? Like, they want to be in multiple free groups, whatever, so be it. Maybe they will invite someone on their own because they love it so much, and that person will be an amazing coach, you know? I don't really, or maybe this round is not, but maybe it's going to take them 10 free groups for them to be like, I'm ready, I want to be a coach, and they're going to be my next Lindsay that way. Like, I don't know. To me, I don't really care. But, you know, you might have a different thought around it. It's to each his own.
Awesome. All right. Well, any other questions? Because it's, you know, it's 10 minutes too, and I want to, any other questions? If not, then Marissa, thank you. Thank you so much.
I hope that was helpful.
Yes. No, thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us kind of what you're doing with your team right now. And I think what you're doing, you know, just kind of always evolving, guys. I think it's always looking at kind of what's working, what's not working. And I think you heard Marissa say she's failed many, many, many times, but she's still here, you know, 5 years in, 5 years later, learning from her mistakes and continuing to add value. And I will say this, I know in my own experience, it takes time to find your voice sometimes. You know, it takes time to find your voice for most people. Some people come in, they're natural, God-given great writers, and they have their voice. And even still, they're still evolving. But sometimes, you know, a lot of people come into this business and they don't know their voice. You genuinely don't know your voice yet. And I think through personal development, through staying in this business and pouring into yourself and developing yourself, with time, you will find your voice. And you know, and that's going to help you reach out to your niche market. I like what Marissa said, where she thinks about the things that, she thinks her avatar would really enjoy and really, really speaks to them on that. And because that takes a little bit more time and effort sometimes to make those quality posts. And another tip that I'll put out there for those of you on here is also trying to repurpose your posts. And also kind of keeping track of them and reusing them. Those are great organization tips. Like if you have a great post and it does really well, you can post the same post, a month and a half from now, 2 months from now. No one's really going to know the difference. And, especially kind of the quality, especially if it's a value, a post where you're giving a lot of value. So just kind of something to think about. And then just kind of really adding that the videos really do work. Live videos, any type of way that you can show yourself and show who you are authentically and show your personality will help you really connect with people. So, alrighty then. Well, guys, everyone have an awesome evening. Thank you again, Marissa. And everyone have a good night. We'll have one more call before Summit next Monday. And I'll see the rest of you guys later next week. Bye, Marissa. Thank you.